What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Safety Scissors and Duct Tape Podcast, episode 9?
Probably.
I think it's 9. If not, the description has the correct thing. I'm Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
And today we're talking about top favorites of holidays.
Yes, we are. So here's the thing. Today is a big day for me. It is the first night of Hanukkah, and I am absolutely excited. And I wanted to dedicate this podcast to Hanukkah, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of 90s to talk about with Hanukkah. So I decided that we're going to do some top lists, top movies, top songs, top whatever, but we're going to do top 8 because there's 8 nights of Hanukkah. So we're going to be doing top 8 favorite holiday movies, top 8 favorite holiday songs, and top 8 favorite holiday foods.
Huh. No.
Now, the movies and the songs have to be from the 90s or before so that they were around in the 90s.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
But food, food's food.
You hope that it was made around the time that you ate it in the 90s and not
Yeah,
because no one wants 40-year-old. Wait, isn't that what?
Well,
what
it
that
it can't be a kind of food that was invented in the 2010s.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even think of something that would have been invented food-wise, but there's tons, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I can't say Amy's Kitchen because I don't think that was around in the 90s.
I got you.
Know what I mean?
That makes sense.
So.
And these lists are a collaboration between both of us. So it's not 8 of mine, 8 of hers, because we tried that and then it was I like 4 things. And then she's like, I like 5. And I'm like, well,
Let's narrow it down. Yeah. So these are collaborative lists and they're in no particular order. This is just top 8 favorites. It's not ranked. It's just top 8. So are you ready?
I think so.
All right. Let's start with music.
Okay. Top 8 songs, holiday songs from
our childhood, basically. All right, so we have All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Why is he mad? Are you asking why he's mad? If you're on the podcast and you heard him sigh, he's mad. And it's because he hates this song.
I don't know what it is about it. It's a catchy song. I think Mariah Carey sounds amazing in it. I just don't like it.
And it plays everywhere, every holiday. So it's so why is it on our list if it's his least favorite holiday song? It's because it's one of my favorite holiday songs ever. I love it. I know a lot of people do, but as a tap dancer, I have so much choreography to this song. It just makes me want to dance musically, rhythmically. It just makes me want to dance. Not every holiday song does that. In fact, most of them don't. So that's on the list. First of all, because I love it, and second of all, because it makes him angry. So, but you can't deny it's one of the best holiday songs ever written.
Oh, 100%. And that's probably why it's the highest grossing holiday song every year.
Yeah. She could have just stopped working after she made that song for the royalties that she's going to get on that. So.
I can definitely understand why it's such a popular song. I just don't like it. So I can't be mad.
So then we have Carol of the Bells. Ooh. I think it's just such a classic song. And it's just, done by Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Mannheim Steamroller or really anybody. It's such a cool song. And it's also in a waltz time. So that really, I love that aspect of it.
It's just a beautiful song.
I love this song. It's epic. It is absolutely epic. And so it had to show up on this list. All right, you ready for another one?
I think so.
All right. Last Christmas. So this is that song by Wham that everyone plays, Wham Holla. So it's something I heard about last year is that everybody plays Wham Holla starting on December 1st. If you can go all the way to Christmas without hearing Wham's version, specifically Wham's version of Last Christmas, you have made it to Wham Holla? Or you're not in Wham Holla. You get to live. Yeah. I think that's how it goes. But I love the song. I absolutely love it. I think my favorite version is actually so 90s. The Savage Garden version. Okay. It is so beautiful. I love the way that they did it. So I was a big Savage Garden fan in the 90s and still am. So
I like Wham.
Yeah, I think that song very easily makes this top 8 for both of us.
Oh, yeah. It's a solid song.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC, because it doesn't get any more 90s than that. I love that song. I know it in sign language. I have tap dance choreography to it. I mean, I was in a sign language performance group, and we did that song in sign language, and I made up dance moves because it was like backup dancing, kind of.
You styling.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a good song.
Such a good song. I think it's one of the best holiday songs ever written. It's up there with All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Okay. I like it. I definitely was an NSYNC fan, and I definitely enjoyed that song. So
yeah, it's such a good song. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff.
Oh, yeah?
The South Park Dreidel song.
Oh.
I mean, how could I leave out one of the greatest songs I've ever heard? So here's the thing about the South Park Dreidel song. I wrote a paper on it for one of my classes in college. Yes, the South Park Dreidel song. I wrote a paper on it because I was a music theory major. And I was in a class that was studying counterpoint, which is the idea that multiple melodies are happening at the same time. The South Park Dreidel song has 5 melodies that happen at once, at one point. It starts with one melody, then it adds 2 at the same time, then it has 3 at the same time, then it has 4 at the same time, and eventually 5 at the same time. And so I wrote this whole paper on the composition of that song, because honestly, the composition of that song is genius. Never mind what the words say. The music is genius. So that has to be one of my favorite songs. Also, it's about Hanukkah. So...
You were saying, you told me that there are very few songs that do that many counterpoint at a time.
There are very, very few songs that you would hear in mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of classical music and very, like, academic music that uses a lot of counterpoint, but
you hear it on a...
melody specifically. Technically, a drum part, a bass part, a guitar part, and a vocal part, that's four-part counterpoint, because it's 4 things happening at once, but I'm talking melodic counterpoint. That one has 5 vocal melodies happening at the same time. Nowadays, you really only hear that in musical theater. So it's very, very rare. And I love this song. So that easily makes the top 8 for me. I don't know how you feel about the song.
I think it's a hilarious song, first of all. And,
so funny.
You know, growing up, I definitely watched South Park, and I remember when that played, and it was like, this is awesome. And I didn't know anything about counterpoint like that. And then you explained it to me, so it was like, wow.
It was a long explanation.
Yeah. So they, the creators of South Park are geniuses.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Whoever writes the music is just, yeah. Speaking of South Park, Oh Holy Night is on this list. So as classic Christmas songs go, that is probably one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. And I think everybody else feels that way too. You hear it in almost every movie. It's just beautiful. Why do I say speaking of South Park?
Doesn't Cartman sing it?
Yes, he does.
I was like, wait, I can hear him singing it. Hold on.
It's one of those moments in the show where Cartman actually does something serious and he sings it in a very serious way, and it makes it that much funnier because it's serious and you don't expect it. It's just, holy night. And you're just like, did you just, he's
singing Creedy.
Also, I really hope everyone will just forget that I did that. Okay,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It's pretty bad. So we've got 2 more on here. Okay. We've got What's This from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that song. I absolutely love that song.
I love that song. Growing up as a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, I remember that song. It was just like...
I wasn't a big fan of that movie, and we'll talk about that more later, and we did talk about that in a recent podcast, but... I love that song specifically because I just thought it was a really cool song. And then Fall Out Boy covered it. I love Fall Out Boy. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And then there was a funny video somebody made of it. And it's a little vulgar, so I can't say it here. But there's a funny video, a parody that somebody made of that song that just sealed the deal on my love for that song. So the last one on this list... The Hanukkah Song by Adam Sandler. Yes. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and any other parts he feels like making. The Hanukkah Song by Adam Sandler.
It's so funny.
So good.
I definitely agree. Like I said, when we were picking out songs, we had a long list on both of us, and we went through each one of them and was like, yeah, and we had a bunch of them that were identical. So
yeah, I think the Hanukkah Song is one that you might forget about a little bit, but I'm just like, Hanukkah.
But the moment she mentioned it, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, good. The one by Adam Sandler. And she's like, yes. Yeah, I was like, yes, that song.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our top 8 songs. If you have songs that you wish were on this list or on your list, don't forget to write those in the comments below, because we would love to hear what your top 8 Christmas or Hanukkah or holiday songs are. So we're going to move on to movies.
Top 8 holiday movies.
Top 8 holiday movies. Now, first I want to talk about 2 movies that did not make the cut for our top 8, but I want to talk about them because they're 2 movies that you're, like, you hear them and then you go, I'm sorry, what? That's a holiday movie? Says who? Gremlins and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Those are holiday movies?
You always forget that Gremlins takes place at Christmas time, and so does Lethal Weapon. The first one takes place during Christmas. So,
wow.
Everybody always argues over like Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not, but those ones legitimately were the same.
Yeah,
thing.
I didn't know. So I just needed to do a little shout out to those movies that you don't know are Christmas movies. There's a couple on our list that are also like, I'm sorry, those are Christmas movies. But let's start with Home Alone 1 and 2. Those are definitely 2 of my favorite Christmas movies of all times. I love those movies. We can also list a few that we absolutely can't stand at the end of this list, by the way. Because I know there's at least 2 that both of us were like,
yeah.
Jingle All the Way. Speaking of hating movies, he loves it.
I absolutely love this movie as a kid. Growing up, I was a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. So, like, that was just amazing. And, like, you're watching it as a kid and you're like, all right, at some point, based on how this character is built, he's gonna dress as the character, especially when they started talking about the parade and stuff. Spoiler alert.
Oh no, did you ruin it?
The movie's from the 90s. I'm sorry. I think I have a 30-year like window that it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like to hear him go, it's turbo time. You're like, yeah!
I forgot about that line.
And you get so excited then, but the interaction between him and Sinbad was like the greatest thing.
I hated the interaction between the 2 of them because I felt so embarrassed for both of them, and I felt like it was just so unnecessarily like violent, and not violent, but you know what I mean. Like, there were things that got knocked over that didn't need to get knocked over, that didn't need to take 15 minutes to get knocked over. It was a lot of embarrassment, and I don't like movies that make me feel that way. So yeah, definitely not one of my favorite movies, but it made the list because it is one of your favorite movies, and I will concede that it is a good movie. I just don't like it.
I got you.
So
look, we both have a give and take. She got All I Want for Christmas, or the Mariah Carey song.
Yeah, All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah,
and then you get this one. So, all right, some movies that we forget are Christmas movies. Serendipity.
Oh yeah.
This is a movie a lot of people probably don't even remember or know about. It's Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack. I love this movie. It frustrates you the entire time, but I love this movie, and it has a good ending, don't worry. But it's a Christmas movie, and you kind of forget that it's a Christmas movie because you think it's just like a rom-com, but no, it's a beautiful, it feels like a Hallmark Christmas movie, honestly.
But with a better budget.
Yeah, with a much better budget. So I really like that movie, and you said that you liked that movie as well.
It was a really cool movie.
So you like John Cusack, and I like Kate Beckinsale, and I like John Cusack. And you like Kate Beckinsale. So it really works out. Yeah. We have Look Who's Talking Now. I love the Look Who's Talking movies. Speaking of the 90s.
I almost forgot about those until we saw them on a list. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that's the one that they get the dogs, right?
Yeah. That's the best one. Yeah. Out of all the Look Who's Talking movies, that's the best one. I'm sure some people are thinking, no, it's the first one. I'm like, no, but the dogs one is so good.
Yeah, I like the first one, and I like the one with the dogs. The one with the where you got the little sister was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. But the first and the third one were my favorite.
I don't know. They're all just really good movies. I love them, and they're very 90s. They just take me back to that part of my life, you know? So, The Santa Claus. Quintessential holiday movie, The Santa Claus.
I think it has to be on everyone's list.
Yeah, for me, it's just the first one. I'm not a big fan of the second two, but I really liked the first one, and it's a Christmas movie. It's what you want to watch at Christmas time.
It's a feel-good
90s Christmas movie. Tim Allen at his finest. So, we have... Here's another one that you might forget was a Christmas movie. Batman Returns.
Yes.
I saw it on the list. I was like, what?
Not necessarily my favorite Batman movie, but it was a holiday Christmas movie, so it makes the list because it's a Batman movie and it's at Christmas time.
Batman Returns was the one with the penguin, right?
Yes.
I hate that movie.
Yeah.
Hate it. I hate the penguin with a passion, even though my friend voices him. That's not why I hate him. I just don't like that. He eats the fish, and it's just gross. He's gross. That's the problem. He's gross, and I don't like him.
I'm sure Danny DeVito appreciates the paycheck that he got from it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But
yeah. My friend voices him on some of the cartoon movies. My friend is not Danny DeVito. I am not friends with Danny DeVito, just in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Batman Returns made it to the list because biggest Batman fan in the world, right here. Let's see, we've got 2 more.
All right.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Got to be on there, you know.
Okay, I appreciate it for what it is. I just don't prefer the movie. There's a lot of movies on here that are for you, but at the same time, you're a movie buff and I'm not.
Yeah.
So,
Nightmare Before Christmas, growing up, it was a revolutionary movie for like the whole movie to be stop motion, which I know there's been movies before that and that had stop motion in it or full blown, but there was just something about it and the way that it captured that feeling of the holiday spirit and things like that you just really felt the story.
I just felt really bad for Santa Claus.
Yeah, because
they kidnapped him and they tried to kill him.
Lock, shock, and barrel. But no, it was a really well-made movie. Yeah. Again, like we said in a previous podcast, not my favorite movie because I'm not a big musical fan, but I love the visual aspect of the movie.
I didn't like much about that movie, but I do like some of the songs, and I appreciate it for what it is. It is a fantastic Christmas movie and Halloween movie. It covers 2 holidays in one, and that is amazing. And finally on the list, you probably guessed it, Die Hard. Die Hard is one of our favorite Christmas movies.
It definitely is a great movie, action, story, adventure, all that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful time watching John McClane go hunt some people.
It's a good tradition for lots of families to watch that movie.
I remember I watched that as a kid with my father, and it was just like that's what I remembered, and it was just like it was so much fun as a kid to watch. One that's not on there that because we were so focused on like Christmas holiday, Independence Day.
That's a holiday movie. Yeah, we said holiday movie. I was thinking of the Christmas holidays.
I know. I just thought about it. It literally just popped into my head.
Okay, that's probably my favorite holiday movie ever. Was it made in the 90s? That was from the 90s.
Yeah, it was in the 90s.
So good.
Yeah, I was literally. We were
Welcome to Earth. That's like my favorite part of that movie.
And we were just talking. All of a sudden, that popped into my head, and I was like, "Wait, that's a holiday."
Oh no, but it's not this kind of holiday. Yeah. It's not the pumpkin spice season holiday.
Pumpkin spice.
That's the watermelon season holiday.
Yes, it's the fireworks.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in July.
Okay.
All right, so that concludes our movie list, and I think we were going to say a couple that we hated. Home for the Holidays. I can't stand that movie.
Okay. I'm trying to remember.
Isn't Meet the Parents a Christmas movie?
I don't know.
Because I hate that movie. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's that embarrassment feeling. That's really where that loses it for me. And then, what's that one that they play for 24 hours straight on TNT every Christmas?
Oh.
It's the You'll Shoot Your Eye Out.
Oh, Christmas Story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both hate that movie.
I also don't like A Miracle on 34th Street.
Which one? The new one or the old one?
The old one.
Okay.
I don't know about the new one.
Okay.
But the old one, the
one with the girl who played Matilda?
No, the old one.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I always had to watch that as a kid, and I hate that because it always put me to sleep, and then my family would get mad at me because I fell asleep.
Well, I get mad at you for falling asleep during every movie, so.
Yeah. My grandma was very big on watching it, and it was like I tried to stay up with her, but I was like, Grandma, I don't want to watch this. She goes, it's okay.
So if your family had a 90s, back in the 90s when you were there, well, obviously when you were there, did your family have a traditional Christmas movie that they watched every Christmas, every holiday season? Yeah.
I remember watching like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movies. I completely forgot about those. The stop motion animation ones. Frosty.
Those are anime.
Oh yeah. We had this.
So wait, tangent, hold this.
Okay.
So Noise Complaint had a show. It was our Ruby show. This sounds like it's unrelated to the holidays, but I promise you it's related. So our Ruby show, the cartoon/anime, trust me, RWBY, Ruby. And I play Yang in that show, but at the same time I don't. I play Jen playing Yang in that show. And you were who in that show?
Ospen?
One of the teachers. And so We turned the story from the actual story of Ruby to, is Ruby a cartoon or an anime? We spend the entire tap dance show in between with acting out an argument over whether or not it's an anime or a cartoon. And we did this one convention called Holiday Matsuri. So we really needed to find a way to take the Ruby show and make it holiday relevant. And I said, I have an idea because I did some research. And my whole point is that Ruby is an anime. My whole point as Yang is to prove that Ruby is an anime. And my usual arguments are, well, okay, just because I'm a Jewish Hungarian girl doesn't mean that I can't make Italian food. Does that mean it's not Italian if I make it just because, you know, this thing that is in the style of anime is made by people that are not from Japan, are not Japanese at all? Does that mean it can't be anime because it's not made by Japanese people? But I can still make Italian food even though I'm not Italian, right? And so that kind of makes the other characters go, huh, and then eventually I'm wrong. But during the Christmas show, I didn't tell anyone in the company, but I grabbed the mic and I was like, actually, let's just actually talk about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer real quick. And I had a mic, sorry. Let's talk about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know the stop motion animation? You guys all know that? Is that an anime or a cartoon? And everyone's like, it's a cartoon.
And all the noise complaint members are like, where is she going with this?
They
because
had
they had
no
no
idea.
idea. And they were like, it's a cartoon.
And I went, actually, it was created in Japan. It is Japanese stop motion animation, making it anime. And the whole theater lost their minds.
Because they were
completely lost it.
And you could literally see people all of a sudden.
They're on their phone, just like,
trying to find out if it was true.
And then they all were like, oh my gosh, it's true.
Jen
And
got
I'm like,
fact-checked live. But it was so funny because it really is. It was made by a production company in Japan.
And it's Japanese stop-motion animation. Just because it doesn't look like anime doesn't mean it's not Japanese stop-motion animation. Use their own argument against them, but it worked. Whether or not Ruby's an anime, we can talk about on a totally different day. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah. I grew up loving Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I grew up, I had a Rudolph stuffed animal, and I watched it every single Christmas. I think that would have been the traditional thing that my family watched.
We watched that. We watched Frosty.
I didn't watch any of the other ones.
We watched the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Never watched it.
I did.
As I got older, I started watching the South Park Christmas special, but that wasn't in the 90s.
I'm trying to remember what other... There was other ones other than...
1999, but...
There was other ones other than the Frosty and the
I forget.
Rudolph.
There was the Abominable Snowman one.
Wasn't that Rudolph? Yeah, because...
Yeah, but I thought he had his own movie.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't remember. But yeah, those. And those should have made it to the list. So we'll give them the 9th. That you know the tall candle in the middle of the 8? That's Rudolph. That's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That is blasphemous that I just said that.
And Independence Day is the match.
Yeah, Independence Day is the match. Oh, just a Christmas song is the top candle and a menorah. That's awful. All right. So that's movies, and we're moving on to food. Why food? Because we're hungry. Like, we've been filming how many of these in a row? Yeah. I'm ready for some food.
And we are big holiday food fans. Big fans.
So this is going to be a combination of traditional, Christmas holiday food and traditional Hanukkah holiday food, because that's what we grew up eating in the 90s. And this doesn't really have much to do with the 90s, but let's just talk about food because it's fun, okay? So.
Food.
Sean's picks were.
Yes.
Stuffing.
I love stuffing. Can't wait. I get stuffing again soon.
I actually don't really like stuffing that much, but I like making it for him because he likes it so much, so I eat it. But it's not my favorite thing in the world. And we make it vegan, but obviously, traditionally, it's not. Cranberry sauce.
Love cranberry sauce.
Do you like the jelly one, or do you like the fresh one?
I like the jelly one because I don't like the actual cranberries in it.
So you like it in a can?
Yes.
He likes the nasty one.
Wow.
I like the fresh cranberry sauce with the orange zest in it, too. I love, good gourmet, honestly, cranberry sauce. My dad liked making preserves, and so, he would make, a cranberry preserve sauce, and it was just really good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, my dad made really good food. Honey ham was one that we both agreed on back before we were vegan. Yes. That was, if my mom said, what kind of meat do you want for Christmas dinner? I would always say ham. Yeah. I want honey ham. Making me literally the worst Jew ever.
I remember.
Because we're not supposed to eat ham.
I remember several years I would go stand in line at Honey Baked Ham And,
oh yeah, the store honey baked
wait
ham.
to get a honey baked ham from my grandma because she
we
asked
would
me to go pick it up.
get one from Publix.
Yeah,
which for those of you that listen in other parts of the world, that's a grocery store.
It's like Kroger's, Piggly Wiggly, whatever the one you have around you. It's
like Winn-Dixie, that kind of thing, or Aldi if you live overseas, stuff like that. We're here. We're here now.
But we I remember standing in line for a honey baked ham because I was the only one that could actually get that time off because my mom and dad worked and my grandma and everything. So it was like, oh well, I can go because I was a teenager. So
yeah,
and at that time it was usually off work or school. So
and now you can just like order them, mail order. But now you like back then you had to go to the store, pick them up, or I mean you could mail order them too. That like the Harry and David stuff, like the pears and whatnot. Mail order pears. That's kind of weird. But, and lastly for Sean, pumpkin pie.
One of the greatest inventions of all time. And I will challenge anyone to find something other than air conditioning. Air conditioning is probably the greatest invention.
You
but
are not wrong.
Pumpkin pie is one of the greatest things that anyone has ever said. Hey, you know what I should do? I should take this big old orange thing, figure out how to make it into a pie.
Oh my gosh.
And eat it.
All right, then. My 4 picks, and we kind of both agree and disagree on some of these. I don't like pumpkin pie, but I couldn't leave it off the list because he loves it so much. And I didn't like stuffing, but I couldn't leave it off the list because he likes it so much. But I agree with you on the honey ham and the cranberry sauce, except the kind of cranberry sauce. I can't deal with the jelly one. Cookies. Can I just say baking Christmas cookies? I don't care what kind you're baking, just baking Christmas cookies. Chocolate chips, sugar cookies, the ones with the little jelly thing in the middle. I don't care. Just bake me some Christmas cookies and I'm a happy girl. So you like cookies?
No, I love cookies.
Cookies is good on the list?
I grew up making cookies all the time, so yeah.
Challah bread.
I had never had challah bread until I hung out with you. I had never had it that I remember. But it was so good.
It is very good. And I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm so sorry. But our cat is violently trying to get into our podcast studio. And we're just going to ignore him.
He's like, guys, I want to hang out. I want to be on the podcast.
In a minute, he may body slam the door because he's a wrestler.
For doing that. He's figured out how to turn the knob.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
It's getting violent over there. But, we're almost done. So we'll get through it.
He'll be okay.
Challah bread is a big one. It's a big thing to just have in the middle of the table at a holiday and just everybody breaks a piece off because that's really what it is. It's pull apart bread. You just take a knot off and then you've got your piece and it's so good. My dad and I used to just like get our own loaf for ourselves and share it and the rest of the family can share the rest of the loaf.
Nice.
Or the other loaf. Big Hanukkah food. Jelly donuts.
Oh yeah.
That's a big thing for Hanukkah. I think it's strawberry filled, but it can be raspberry sometimes, or vice versa. I think it's raspberry filled, but it can be strawberry sometimes. But jelly donuts, big thing at Hanukkah. In fact, traditionally, Hanukkah doesn't involve any presents. It it involves playing the Dreidel games and the gelts, the chocolate that you would play the game for, and eating jelly donuts with family and telling stories and stuff like that. But in America, we get presents. So
I was a fan of jelly donuts before Hanukkah. So, well, not before Hanukkah was ever made or created, but before I ever knew that was a tradition.
And now I seek out places to get vegan jelly donuts every Hanukkah, and I have to pre-order them like a month in advance because they go pretty fast. So jelly donuts. And then my top one on the list is I know something that you love. Potato latkes.
Potato latkes.
Yeah.
Potato pancakes.
Love potato latkes. Now, what didn't make the cut that is my favorite Jewish food of all time is matzo ball soup. But that is not a holiday food to me. That is a go home and see my mom food at any point. Any time of the year. So she makes the best matzo ball soup.
It's really good.
So,
but yeah, I think we picked some really good foods, movies, songs.
I do too. Now I'm really ready for these holidays. I know December is underway and it's just a few weeks from now. It'll be Christmas, but right now I get to light the menorah tonight and I'm so excited, guys. This is my favorite holiday of the entire year. I wait all year for it and I love it so much and I have the most obnoxious Hanukkah clothes ever.
it's so much fun to wear and do. It's just funny.
And I love that you love Hanukkah. I love it.
I love it. It's fun to do. And, I didn't know much about it until I met her and I knew that it existed, but I didn't really know anything about it. And she explained it to me and what it was and what it stood for.
It's the funnest holiday.
And it was awesome. I am horrible at playing Dreidel.
Yes, he is. He's really terrible. Your luck is the worst.
I get no guilt.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
I share. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to our list. Don't fall off the chair.
So let us know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite
holiday songs?
Yep, holiday songs,
holiday
movies, and
holiday
your favorite food. Holiday food. And definitely let us know so that way we can be like, oh man, I completely forgot
that.
And I want that, or I need that right now. And
yeah.
Definitely we'll probably do an order of food after we read these comments.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys really enjoyed. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let us know that you enjoyed that. Also, don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button, depending on what platform you're on.
Yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we've got lots of stuff on this channel that we spend the time making it for you, and we hope that you enjoy it. And so subscribe, please.
Also, last week we asked a question.
Oh, yes, we did. The trivia question.
And the last week was...
All right, so the question was, what Nickelodeon show kickstarted the careers of Nick Cannon, Kenan Thompson, and Amanda Bynes? You want to give the answer?
The answer was All That.
I love that show so much.
So if you guys got that right, nice job. You guys rock. Or you're just 90s kids too. So the
next question.
Yep, for the next week.
I love this question because I'm a big music fan, right? Mm-hmm. So, what was the best-selling rock album of the 1990s? What was the best-selling rock album of the entire 1990s?
The entire.
So, let us know what you think it is, and then leave a comment below or message us on social media and tell us the answer, and then we'll let you know next time.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah to those of you out there that celebrate. I'm just very, very excited. So if you ever need to geek out about Hanukkah with somebody, I'm your girl, okay?
We definitely look forward to hearing your guys' comments about the favorite foods, movies, music.
And I hope you guys are having such a good holiday season so far. I know that this year has been a very trying year for many of us, but try to soak up as much joy as you can right now.
Just have fun and enjoy it with the family and friends. But as always, I'm Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
And thanks for watching, guys. Or listening.